Yeah, at the very end, I get a little taste of a nut. I'm a smith, play commander, trading cards, no Charmander. I'm a realtor by day. I spec up all my pay, play no counters but like blue. Throw in a few tattoos, you know I wouldn't want it any other way.
That was off.
No, that was, you know you wouldn't want it. Oh, see, I was doing the third verse. Way. I was doing the third verse because that one's like trailing off. Yeah, the Christina Aguilera.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you know.
Jesus.
No, it's not Jesus.
Actually, she played God in Dogma. So.
Oh yeah, was that her? No, the wrong one.
Alanis Morissette?
Nope, not Alanis.
It's not.
No.
It's I'm a Bitch.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not. Shoot.
If I gave you the initials MB.
MB, that's Meredith Brooks.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that was really good. I was like, he's not going to get this at all, even with me.
I needed the initials. I definitely needed.
That was my jam back in the day. Actually, so on my way down here, which by the way, we're at Lowry's house because I sold my house today.
What?
On my way down, I listened. I have the whole CD. So, well, it's not CD form anymore.
Classic.
It's my MP3, whatever. It's on my phone. So
I
was like, oh yeah, this song was good. Never made it to the radio, but this song was good in this one, and bitch is awesome. Welcome, CommanderSmiths.
We are the CommanderSmiths.
I am Adam Smith.
I'm Lowry Smith.
Don't worry.
We are cousins.
Yeah.
And yeah. How are you today?
I'm really good. I sold my effing house and I'm done.
Done cleaning?
Done. Oh.
All right.
So Friday was 12 hours of cleaning. Saturday was 14 hours of cleaning. And Sunday we finished last night at 11:30 cleaning. That was 12 hours as well.
You know, when you tell that story, it makes you sound completely disgusting.
Okay, so I shouldn't say cleaning. I should say moving. Yeah, I did say all of it was cleaning. Yeah, so
I spent 60 hours cleaning in 3 days.
A 4-bedroom house. Freaking. Yeah. Why did I say cleaning every single time? No, I had to remove my climbing wall, so that took like 6 hours.
I was wondering what you're going to do with that.
That was. Here's the funny thing is, because it took me a while to build that, the climbing wall, and I added sections and all that. I use different screws every time. So I had some that were the regular screws, then some of them were the star screws, and then some were the square screws.
Such a pain in the ass.
My stepdad, I was like, I had to take one of our loads, not cleaning, one of the loads to to storage, and he's like, This is a square nut, or there's a square head. What the hell? And then I just have a star. I'm like, yeah, sorry. I just grabbed whatever screws I had.
Handyman jokes right here.
And then I ended up packing I didn't have a socket wrench, and I didn't realize I forgot that I put these huge bolts in to hold the top in, and you couldn't see it because I had it covered with a board. My finishing board. That sounds really bad. Just has a bunch of
It's up
splatter.
on the ceiling. Yeah. It's impressive. It's impressive work.
That's like 8-foot ceilings. I got some distance on it, but once we removed that, we're like, oh no, there's freaking, and I didn't have any socket wrenches.
More cleaning.
So I had to go to my neighbor and ask him more cleaning. Anyway, so we're done, and we are in a new studio. We've been here before.
Studio, yeah. It's my cellar. We're going to age down here pretty well. And so today we're going to talk about the...
what episode is it?
65?
65.
Yeah, all right. We're going to talk about maybe the ending. Not quite the ending, but the third saga of the Mythic Edition.
Oh, I thought you were about to talk about Game of Thrones.
No,
I thought you were about really to throw that in.
Adam hasn't watched Game of Thrones yet either. And so
yeah, because I was moving, so I didn't
I kept
do any of that.
Rubbing it in.
So yeah,
so we're going to talk a little bit more about like an update on what's happening with Mythic Edition for people that don't have it.
Yeah. They're pretty interesting. So we'll talk about that really quick. And then actually some people that we know that did get it and all that.
You've talked with them. We have a love letter from Mr. Swope that we'll talk about today.
Which that's been in the dockets for a long time. And then we just kept getting more and more stuff. And we're like, all right, we got to...
More new cards.
Then we got our DiGi token segment. So we're actually going to kind of go through which ones we've come up with. And we're actually going to kind of work it out
how to play it, or how it would look, or how it would work. And that might be a shit show segment.
Yeah, because we started talking. I was like, let's save this.
This sounds good.
Yeah. So, but then we'll also want suggestions of if you guys think of something. We've already got some people that have thrown out suggestions, because if you look at the Proxies of the Week, we have a couple of them that are up. Smothering Tithe, Ristic Study. We've talked about those before. So, and then we finish up with our Specs of the Week.
Yeah. So,
but first, there's a couple things we want to talk about. The YouTube drawing that we did last week was completely bogus. So we had we
had like 100 subscribers,
101 subscribers, and did it random.
70 plus of them are private, and we don't know who it is. Don't know how to.
The funny thing is, I'm like scrolling down. I was like, how am I going to find 80? I think it was 88 or something like that. I was like, I know, because I'll just go from recent, 101 and work my way backwards. That'll be easy. So I found the person, and then I couldn't find like a way to contact that person. That's for number one. That was hard. And then I looked down, and it only goes another like 20 people, and I was like, this list is only like 30 or 40 people long. I was like, this is not right. So we have a new concept with this. So we still want you to subscribe to YouTube,
but you have to leave a comment,
and the comment has to be this month. You have to put under
word of the month is
Dick Sleeves. Dick Sleeves. I really wish we had that on video. You really did go crazy.
I was thinking of like Pee-wee's Playhouse.
The word of the day.
The word of the month.
We should have had like a horn going, and I like it. Yeah. So this month we will do 2 drawings, and this way we can kind of weed out the people that really don't care if they get proxies or not.
Actually don't listen to us.
Yeah, because that was the other worry. Is I was like, we might get some people that subscribe that are like from other videos we've done, but don't really listen to the show, and then I'll be like, hey, you want a proxy? And like, stay the fuck away from me.
Weirdo.
So all you have to do is go to this video on YouTube, any of the videos that are for the month of May, and then just put a comment underneath Dick Sleeves, and then at the end,
whatever else you want.
Yeah, you can put whatever. You can actually do comments.
Yeah.
But the Dick Sleeves is what will count, and then at the end of the month, we'll do 2 names. We'll draw it, and then those 2 people will get
So we
proxies.
really appreciate about the 3 or 4 people that'll write Dick Sleeves in the comments.
That'll be easy. Really nice. If there's 2 people, be like, you're getting one and you're getting one. Congratulations. But yeah, so we'll do 2, and it'll be for all the proxies you can get for April and for May. And then the other part of that is Game of Thrones is ending next week. So at the end of May, that's going to be the end of the Game of Thrones tokens as well. So if you want those... Proxies. Sorry. Yeah, tokens are what we're doing later.
Yeah. And then we do have an email. You can email us there Gmail. Anytime you want. Or tweet at us.
So the song was Ozzy Nate. Why didn't I say it?
I should have known.
Yeah, Ozzy Nate.
He's so much better at writing than we are.
I was just, because I was struggling. I was like, I'm going to do something that has to do with me selling my house. And so I'm like, celebrate the times. Come on. But then I got frustrated, and I was like, oh yeah, Ozzy Nate sent me one like a month ago, but I had Jeremy and Trombley in line.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'll check his out. And I was like, this was
I actually
perfect.
had a really bad joke about, like, we were supposed to record up at Adam's house before he sold it. And so I was going to bring up the champagne of beers, which is Miller High Life, and be like, cheers. And I would have just chugged it.
Speaking of beer.
So actually what I have, which is the good one. Okay, so this beer is from Tin Whiskers, which is I believe it's a St. Paul company, if I'm remembering right. But I'll be honest, I haven't liked anything that they've done.
This is crazy.
This one is Minnesota favorite. Pearson's is a candy company out of here, and Tin Whiskers is doing a salted nut roll ale.
Peanut butter, caramel, and white chocolate. I don't like salted nut rolls, so we'll see if I like the beer. Will this be the time where I'm like, oh, this is disgusting?
Cheers.
All right. I don't taste it. It tastes like a normal beer to me almost. Like a light beer, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. There's a hint.
Yeah, at the very end,
There's a
I get a little
hint.
taste of a nut. Why do we always cry when we're in your basement? your facial expression too was just
Stop. Oh my goodness.
What are we in? We're 10
10
minutes in. I know what our sounder is. That's pretty easy. I don't have to go and listen to the whole thing anymore. I just got to go to 10 minutes in.
For those of you that have a clean heart, he said that he tastes a little bit of the nut at the end.
My tummy hurts. Oh, this is stupid. I can't stop crying. I don't know if it's I'm really tired or that was... all right. So how do we move on from here?
Oh, I don't know. Email, Twitter.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Patreon, please.
Proxy of the week this last week, by the way, was Blood Moon, so you guys can check that out.
We have no new patrons.
You just have tears all on your
Yeah, no,
face.
I'm crying.
Oh, what was the beer? What was the Not Sharing with Adam beer this week?
I don't remember.
Nut.
This is, I think it was Rava from Hammerheart. I've had Hammerheart a couple times with you.
Okay.
They normally do like a smoked porter or a stout or something. This one
Now I
was
can
just
taste
like
it a little bit more.
really, really bitter pine. It was rough.
God damn, that was
It was
ridiculous.
tasty, but it was rough. So,
All right. Yeah, so email us with the, and like I said, Ozzy Nate, thank you again. I love that it makes it easy.
Yeah,
like a song that I
amazing.
actually knew, I was like, this is freaking sweet. So
what we should do is meet up with Ozzy Nate sometime and do like a karaoke YouTube machine or like video of just all three of us.
No, we just got to take him out to the
any
bar
song
and go
that
do
he-
karaoke.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be fine with that. Let's do this.
Hit us up, Ozzy Nate. All right, so should we jump into the episode? I think we got everything else covered. We did Twitter, check out that stuff,
Patreon.
YouTube, Patreon. Let's move on to Mythic Edition 3.
Okay.
So, what happened this week?
Well, they really like strung us out. For
We just got
refund.
refunded, 2
It was
days
like
ago?
Saturday.
So, yeah, Saturday.
Like, day before Mother's Day.
Ugh.
Just in case you needed money to buy a gift for
So
your
they
mother.
held on to the money for a week and a half.
Like 10, 11 days.
$550, and I was just like, well, I guess I can't spec on anything else.
Yeah. And so it took them that long. And then it just seemed like it happened for you.
Yeah.
And then like
The next
I
day
got
for
a
you,
text
or-
from my dad who was monitoring he got the notification saying that the refund was there. I was like, all right. Like it was 10 minutes after you texted.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm glad that I'm
Well,
glad we have our money
I guess
back.
we haven't talked about we didn't know at the time what they were giving us. So we got a $20 gift card coming from eBay.
That was really kind of them.
And then actually they are printing out everybody is
Foil,
getting,
mythic, and rare sheet.
which is
Uncut.
kind of crazy. I think it's cool. I think
It's really cool.
I'm definitely going to frame it. I'm not selling that bad boy because it's very unique.
We don't really know how big it's going to be.
Yeah, because sheets, what we were looking at was 11 by 11, which is
Yeah.
huge.
But that's going to be more than the mythics and rares
Right,
from this
yeah, because it'd be 121 mythics and rares, and
We
I
don't have
counted
that
it was
many.
like 91, and I was like, if you include the Japanese,
That would be crazy, but they
you
didn't
still
do
didn't
that,
even
yeah.
get to that. It was like whatever. So there's gonna be duplicates, is what I'm guessing, if they do the 11 by 11.
Or it's a smaller sheet.
Yeah, that
but the
could be.
11 by 11 sheet, like when we got the email, the message stating that they were going to do this, it wasn't an email, or it was the statement on Twitter that
I got the
saw.
email first.
You got an email?
That's when I took a picture and
I
sent
can't
it to
really
you.
read. So, but I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is going to be so cool. And then like I went and did some cardio, and like in the middle of that, you and Tyson were talking about it, and I got back and I was like, where the fuck am I going to put this?
Yeah.
I was like, 11 by 11 is so much.
Yeah, that is really huge.
It's a lot.
Well, and I think with Tyson's
but you had
point,
done the numbers, and I was like, okay, this is probably going to be smaller than 11 by 11. But
because Tyson's point is, how do you ship that? And like, how would they ship it to us?
I think you just roll it up in a poster.
You think roll it up?
Yeah, I think you roll it up and then you put it in a poster thing.
Man, I wouldn't want to roll those because then you definitely get the bend and with a foil bend on those cards.
I don't know how else you're gonna.
Well, you do it like a manila folder, but if it's at 11 by 11, I don't know how you would do that.
You're talking feet by feet. Like, it's not going to be.
Well, think of picture
it's not
frames.
Be flat.
Picture frames, you can do that. So the shipping's gonna be more expensive. Like shipping's gonna be ridiculously expensive if you're trying to send this out.
Yeah,
but
either way.
So right after they announced this, you go on eBay right now. They were selling for $350. It's now down to like $180, I think, just because everybody's putting them up.
There's going
to
be a ton of them. Yeah,
and I think right away this is going to be pretty cheap. Not cheap. I mean, it's between $100 and $200. But I think you wait on this, and after everybody buys, the collectors or whatever buy their stuff, this will go up over the next few years. I think and I don't think I'll ever sell this. I think it's kind of a unique kind of cool thing.
I think it's really cool.
And then we own the card for our proxies.
we gotta talk with our friends about that.
Because if we really want to play with it, we can just cut it out.
You know what? Actually, I saw Saffron Olive talking about there are people that actually cut it professionally. And so
you can pay them to do that.
Yeah. But if you're getting one, do not cut it yourself.
Scissors.
Because you will fuck it up. It's number one, it's not going to be straight, but actually they have a certain type of cutting process that seals the edges.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And if you're using a scissors, you will not be doing
or even
that process.
What do you call it?
Yeah, the machete paper clipper.
You'll just leave it open the card.
So it'll just suck in moisture, get fat on the edges, and you will not be happy with the outcome there.
Take a land right now and cut it and see what that looks like. The edge of that with your scissors is what the edge will look like. So it really doesn't make sense to go and do that.
Maybe that's a segment idea, is once we can look into it and see what it would cost to get them cut by somebody that knows what they're doing.
And framing, I think if it's an 11 by 11, that's going to be really expensive for framing.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
I think
I'll just I'll take a tack and put it into my corkboard.
Yeah, right.
And just have it
just get on the corners. No, you got to get on the corner so it doesn't curve. Just totally wreck it. Yeah. But I was very disappointed that I didn't get Mythic Edition 3 because I did want to complete the set, and of course I wanted to make money off of it, but at the very least I did want to complete the set of the Mythic Edition. But with the screw up, I don't know personally what you think. I think it was a good, we're sorry gift, I kind of thought something was going to be coming because they did it for the first one.
Yeah, and we had talked about that.
And I even got a box from the first one. I was hoping they do the same with this one and go, hey, we have a couple extra. You can buy one, and then also here's a box topper or something. And is this as good as a box topper? Yeah. I would think it's better. Because think of the box topper I got.
Yeah,
I mean, I sold it for $175, $175.
Yeah.
But now Tessiger is like $30.
Yeah.
So I guess your luck on what box topper you got. If you got Cavern of Souls or something like that, then maybe that's better. But even that top price is $250 right now.
Sure.
And the early sales on eBay for this was at $350. I saw completed sales $350.
But right now somewhere below $200.
Yeah. So I think this is better. I think it's for us. Like I don't have a lot of Magic art stuff, or anything like that, and especially when we're
a little Magic like pop.
Yeah, the pop guys.
Pops.
But that's to get when we get the studio up and running and when we start doing the video stuff. That's where I'm like, I think it more fits what we're using because it's like, oh, we can actually use this in the studio and stuff. But I don't know, your everyday player might not like it as much.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to look really cool in foil as well. I think that's a big thing. The problem is just like, how big is this going to be? They
haven't said any indication of what it's going to be.
So,
because think of this: what if you did like how your dad did his table? Like you have that as your table underneath a piece of glass.
What my dad had was a normal round table, and then a piece of glass that covered it, and then he'd throw pictures, credit cards, whatever underneath it as reminders or places that he's been. But if you just had that magic card set,
but you'd have it
pretty cool.
Covered with something, of course,
covered with the glass and.
But like I wouldn't want just the glass to be rubbing on that. I'd have another protective layer over that. Yeah,
like a 4x5 dick sleeve around it. Just a protective cover,
right? But that'd be kind of cool to have. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of ideas for other people. Like I don't think necessarily everybody's, significant other would want them posting this up in the middle of their living room.
I'm allowed to have this above my desk in the back corner of the house,
in the garage, in storage. But I like it. It's gonna be interesting because I actually didn't know that they sold these. That's what I learned. And I was like,
they give it away at GPs.
GPs is what I started reading.
And generally, it's a lot less than what's happening with this. So
and they're not normally
hundreds instead of thousands.
And it's not normally like specific like rares and mythics. It's like random through that set.
Yeah,
commons on everything.
Yeah. Whatever.
And then the foil ones are normally really expensive. Where this is mythic and rare, all foil. So
yeah.
I don't know. There was a big F up, but there's nothing you can really do about it. I just think,
other than if they could learn their lesson.
Yeah,
I mean, if they.
I think what we talked about last week is what they need to do is
they need to change it or have a better selling system, or
if they fucking would have just said how many people want it, everybody go in. You got 24 hours, and then they would have made, instead of $3 million and then refunding. Think of this: eBay's refunding 20 because they fucked up.
Yep.
So eBay's missing out on, let's just say there was 10 to 15,000 people there. So you're looking at what, $20,000-$30,000 out of eBay's pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go with these Mythic Edition, or
they gave
foil sheets,
millions of dollars.
Yeah, and they made like 3 million or whatever the calculation was in 3 minutes. Think if they actually would have just gone with whoever wants this, they would have made like $10-15 million in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But whatever, we can't help.
No, we're not marketing majors or anything.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to the next segment. We're done with Mythic Edition 3. We'll see if they continue.
I'd say if we
when we get it,
we'll talk about it.
I think it'll be really cool if they are completely random. Like if it is an 11 by 11. No, but if it was an 11 by 11.
I want Nicobolus and I want Finale of
But what if you had two of them on there? You know what I'm saying?
I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck.
I only need
one.
Is that
from Friday?
I don't know. It's been
Is this beer making you like it's making me throat scratchy too? It's the nut.
God damn it. Probably is.
So moving on to love letter after the nut.
Okay, so love letter. So this letter is actually I kind of talked with Mr. Swope. We've talked about him a couple times on the podcast here, and so a couple months ago, I believe it was back in January, but I could be wrong.
It might be even earlier than that because it's been a while.
So he had his son, and it named him Tajik from the Ravnica set. You know, the name, not. And he tagged us and a couple other like Magic podcasts, and I was like, man, that's really, really cool that we got to like share.
Yeah, kind of like a moment with that.
Yeah,
that we were part of his first, well, not necessarily first picture stuff, but
yeah. And so I sat down and kind of asked him. I was like, hey, we could probably do a little bit like if you want to write a love letter to your son. And then I learned afterwards that he named his daughter, who's I think about 1.5 years old, Kaya.
That's pretty sweet.
And so both of his children right now are named after characters from Magic, and his wife is all about that.
Yeah, I was like, totally my wife, I don't think I could get away with that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, this is Jason Garuk right here.
And so we'll talk a little bit about that afterwards, I think. But I'm going to start this one out with a comic that he sent me along with it. And Adam has not seen this either. So,
nope.
Panel 1. Magic is such an awesome game. Why don't we all name our kids after Magic characters when we get older? Sounds great. It's a deal. Let's do it. So 3 different people. Many
I could tell by the different voices.
Many years later. This is Liliana. This is Thalia. This is Jace. This is Phyrexian Obliterator. Man, you guys are wimps. So that's probably what my wife would not allow me to do with that. So, start of love letter to Mr. Swope's children. To my babies, Kaya and Tajik. When your mom and I first thought about having babies, we made a joke about naming you after Orzhov legends. Well, when the time came a year and a half ago, there was no other obvious option. Kaya. You are the most joyous ghost assassin ever. Trying to keep up with you gets more intense every day. Soon, though, you will be assassinating more ghosts than we can count. Watching you dance fills my heart with joy. When your brother comes along, there was a tougher choice to be made. Cecil or Tajik. Because Soren was never an option. Way too popular. Your mom and I decided to keep it in the family, the magic family. Then 3 months ago, here he came, Tajik, which is 4 months ago at this point. Mr. Indestructible, you stole our hearts. You are the most adorable little soldier ever. The two of you can be pain sometimes, but it's worth it. Seeing you interact with each other and learn new things every day takes our breath away. Getting dogpiled on when you go to sleep is the best feeling ever. Being surrounded by our little family makes everything worthwhile. Your mom and I love you with all our hearts and wish the world to you.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's really cool that it's a family
that they
thing and bringing it all together.
That's really sweet. I couldn't get away with that.
So and I can't either. And I was
because you have to name him after you.
Yeah. So my son's name is Lowry because I'm a sociopath. And my wife came into it knowing that it was going to be Lowry because you're Lowry. I'm the second. Yeah. My dad, our grandpa. Yeah. Lowry's.
Have to do it.
And so, but if it was if we were going to have a little girl,
Lowryette,
my wife gets to choose all of the rest of our kids' names, which is hopefully only one more. But when we were deciding on a girl's name, Kirsten's family is from Germany, and so she's going through German names, right, for girls. And she's like, you want to look through some of this and see if you have anything that jumps out at you. I don't remember her suggestions, but I was like, what about Aurelia?
Nice.
And I was like, and she's like, no. I was like, what about Bruna? I think I like Gisela too. Nice. And she was like, those sound like magic names. Are they magic names? And I was like, no, you can't do that. That's exactly my response. I was like, no. But my preference,
you're a magic name. Yes,
my preference would have been probably Aurelia if I actually got the choice at that point.
Do you guys have a name then?
For a girl's name in the future? No. Not that I remember at this point.
So you just got to start sneaking some in there.
I
think this just sounds really nice.
And so if I was going to change my son's name, Lowry, to a magic name, and I was like looking through German names in magic to try and appease my wife, the only one I really could find that I liked that she wouldn't like, it's Ulrich, the Kraken Horde leader guy that it was Flip Mythic from Shadows block.
I'm trying to remember him.
Yeah, not a good card.
Was he the wolf dude?
Yeah, the wolf guy,
the red green dude.
Yeah. So personally I think I like Soren, even though that's overused. I was like, Tezzeret, probably not, but
Karn.
No, Karn.
Karn.
But I was thinking Tez would be a pretty cool nickname. Yeah. Venser, I think that's a pretty cool name. And probably the winner would be Craterhoof Behemoth.
I agree.
So those are the ones I was throwing around.
I'm surprised you wouldn't want to name him Locust God.
Locust God.
This is a weird name. Why is your kid? He even hates locusts, so I don't know why we named him that.
He just runs around waving his head. Yeah. Locust.
Well, I kind of have with my son's name. No, it's not. He's not named Drake from the rapper Drake. It's actually
that'd be lame.
The name that I would play video games with throughout my life. whole life. That was the name. Like, it's kind of the name that I wish that my name was. Is kind of why I started doing it, and I kind of liked how it sounded more. I played a lot of Diablo 2, whatever, and it seemed like a medieval kind of name. I don't know why, but then it just stuck. So every video game, it's weird now because I'm busting out my video games because they're starting to get to that age, and it already says Drake on there, and he's like, "Why is my name right there?"
He's not going to share with the younger brother.
He's like, "I've already beat this game. How the hell did I do that? I didn't even play this yet." So yeah, that was kind of so it's kind of a nerdy thing because it's a video game. My alter ego
but
name.
Drakes have been around in Magic forever.
Yeah. So I have a Drake deck that's not done, but I'm collecting every single Drake that I can, and eventually I'm going to build a Drake. The problem is Drakes are pretty bad. Some of them, there's
Most
only
of the time,
a handful that are actually decent to use, so it's a little tough.
I think also Wizards has to make a Drake legend for you now.
Yeah, right.
Because I don't know who you're using. It's
that would be perfect. Well, no, because I have what's his name? He's the Merfolk that makes Drakes whenever you play an instant.
Talrand.
Yeah, so
that could work. I could see that.
So that was kind of who my commander is at this point, but it's in the making. And once a card really stands out, I think.
But that's actually nice because you can give him the deck early, and then he can just fuck it up.
Yeah,
and you're like, I don't care. All those are bad. Drakes are bad.
So I don't know what I'm going to do with my second son because he's named after basically a mosquito. So I was like, maybe a bunch of mosquito decks.
Swamp mosquito.
So really quick, his name is Zeke, and we had to miss 2 trips, the Smith trip to the Virgin Islands, and then to one of our vacation home in Florida. We couldn't go because of
Zika
virus. So we joked around when we were finding out finding out the gender of our kid. We had a girl's name, which super nerdy. We both had agreed on Maisie from Game of Thrones.
Me and you agreed on that.
Yeah, me and Larry agreed on it. But Maisie was going to be her name, and that's Arya's real name from Game of Thrones. Anyways, so we were like, well, we have a girl name. What are we going to do with the boy? Because we used up the boy. And so we're like, we made jokes the whole time because the trips got canceled that it was going to be Zeke and Zika if it was a girl.
That would have been awful.
And then, yeah, I know. But anyway, when we found out, when we got, I think within the week of about to find out the gender, I was like, I actually like the name Zeke. And not Ezekiel, it's just Zeke. Because I have a thing of, I don't like your name, like my brother Nicholas. No one calls him Nicholas unless he's in trouble. They call him Nick. So that's one of my...
What are you going to call Zeke when he's in trouble?
Zeke.
Zeke.
Oh, you mean like make his long name?
Yeah.
You say his full name. You say the whole middle name and everything.
Stupid.
What?
That's just stupid.
But it's true. Say my kid's name is stupid. Thanks, Larry.
The full name,
Cindy, I hope you're listening.
Yeah.
I'm just going to play this part right here. Not the nut part. But yeah, so that's where his name comes from a mosquito. So I got to make a mosquito bug deck.
If you guys do end up accidentally having a third kid,
we're not having another. Well, accidentally would have to be the word.
Yeah, and so what you should do is we named our kid after a mosquito. Let's choose a Magic character. That's the one I would do.
That's my way.
But yeah, we have one named after an insect. Let's do.
Let's keep it going.
Yeah.
I don't know. The only way we would do it is if we knew we were having a girl, just to see what it was like to have a girl, and we have that name. If we had another boy, with our Smith genes, there's only...
It's going to be more than likely a boy.
Yeah, there's so many freaking boys with our family, all our cousins and everything, except for Jake. They just had a girl, so...
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Actually, our other cousin Chris had a girl as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
All right. So is there anything else with the name stuff?
No. I thought it was just a really kind of a cool moment that they decided to share with us.
That's really awesome.
So thanks
you for
that.
for sending that in. That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks so much.
All right, so let's move on to the next segment, which was...
Tokens. Digitokens.
All right, so... Where do you come up with this idea? Why we kind of talked about it the other week, I think a couple weeks back. You always have a problem with Rhystic Study and Smothering Tithe when...
So, they're just really annoying to remind people.
Yeah, because... And Larry's been playing with Rhystic forever, and so it's always been... did you pay? Did you pay one? Did you pay one?
Yeah.
And so we just kind of talked about, we were playing with Mark, our cousin, and then your brother and my brother. And then Mark kind of had mentioned it, and we were just like, oh, we should make a token of that. And that just gets passed around. So we're actually going to start trying to put all these together. So Larry kind of ran off some common ones.
These are ones that are currently in my deck, and I really didn't see any others that weren't being used, but I'm sure there are a ton of them out there that just kind of like...
Can we start off with the funniest one?
Go ahead. I don't know what you're talking about.
The kill them token. I think that's the best. I think everybody should have it. I got to figure out a design for this.
So it's a reminder token of who is the strongest at the table.
So you just throw it out at the person. Kill him!
Kill him and just throw it over at them. And if you get everybody throwing that, that'd be awesome. I think you need to make it like bright in colors, just so like people really notice it. Oh, kill them. Okay,
yeah.
Just make sure everybody's on the right page.
That. I really love that. It didn't hit, like he sent the list over what he had, and I was like, I read it, and then we were talking about beforehand. I was like, oh, that's freaking brilliant. Let's just you throw it at the person like that. I think that's
whenever
perfect.
somebody does something ridiculous, you just
kill him, and you only can throw it once. You can't keep.
That's true. You can't. They get to keep it. It's like a trading it. They're like, I will. That is a badge of honor.
So I feel like that's a token that everybody should have. But one of the thoughts we had too, I don't know, we didn't talk about this beforehand, but like this might be part of it too. Is like we might make a command area, like your commander zone.
Sure.
Token.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that gets confusing sometimes is people, you're like, is that in play? Is that out of play? I don't know. Other people have different ways of doing this. If you have a play mat, it's kind of easy. You just keep that off the play mat, and then when it comes in, it comes in. But we don't play with play mats very often.
Generally, no. I don't own a play mat.
Yeah, we kind of got the play mats for the videos, so we had good, pretty backgrounds and all that. But that's one token idea. But then there's the, like, reminding yourself to draw. Like that's one of the
and when we were talking about making
a couple
things,
weeks ago,
but like generally what I do if I know that I'm going to be drawing an extra card is I'll take 2 cards off the top and turn them sideways for a reminder. Like if it's something of mine, for like Phyrexian Arena or like if Nekasar's in play or a Howling Mine or something, but. We can definitely make tokens, especially if Nekusar is an opponent, and then they can hand out.
Yeah, so the person that's doing it, like if it's a draw thing, you only need the one. Like if it's Nekusar, that person has the card, and they give it to the next person in line. They draw a card, and
they're taking 2
damage, or for each card that they draw. So that'll all be on the reminder text. Yeah. So. And
I think you could also put Nekasar in the middle as just like a general reminder if you don't like. Just so everybody can see it. If somebody's playing like Brainstorm on auto turn, it can help remind people on that as well. Mm-hmm. Although if they're doing that, they should probably wait.
Yeah. So then you had on here can't gain life. So we have that would basically. How would that one? That one actually, I would think when you play that like Erebos. Stigma Lasher. Is that the one when it does damage?
So yeah, Stigma Lasher is like a 2/2 whether if deals damage to a player, they can't gain life.
So it's kind of like you think of the emblems that you get with Planeswalkers, but they don't have anything to remind, you got damaged and now you can no longer gain life.
So like a Stigma Lasher can die really easy as a 2/2. You might not remember that later on in the game, but if you have like a Stigma Lasher can't gain life, that it, like you're saying, the emblem, that I think can help out a bunch.
Because and the other thing is if that player dies, you still can't gain life.
Yeah.
So that reminder kind of needs. What if that player's like, "Fuck you, I'm going home"? Well, I'm sure everybody else will remember that. But having that card there to specifically say, "Okay, this person's been hit; they can't gain life," and all that.
Yeah, and clearly you go after like life gain decks. Yeah. So like Aloro or my Lycia deck, there's plenty of life gain style decks out there.
Yeah.
That could help stop you from actually gaining life.
Mm-hmm. So then you have can't untap. So we have Static Orb on there, which is
this one's going to be a little bit more complicated because there are a bunch of them that are similar stacks type decks, but Static Orb, everybody like can only untap one permanent during their untap
And I
step.
think this one's still the same thing where you just need the one token that you pass around.
Yeah.
You don't need to have multiple tokens to give everybody.
Yep. And then Meekstone, you can untap creatures with power 3 or greater. And Crackdown is similar. It's a white enchantment. I talked about both of those during my Oketra Spotlight. Yeah. So it's kind of like it helps people remember, like, you could probably, for Meekstone or Crackdown, you could have the token, have all of those creatures tapped underneath or near the token, just as a reminder not to untap them. And there are certain lands that nobody plays that, like, if you use them they can't untap the next turn or something. But
we did get I'll have to look at that. We did get a suggestion. There's one
Tony on Tilt.
Yeah, that's right.
On Twitter. It was about Phyrexian Arena.
Yeah, so was there the one where he sent the whole link to all the old ones?
Oh, that's something different. I think that was
who was that? Go back and look.
Yeah, so there was an article about all of the tokens that have never been created. Is that the one you were talking about?
Yeah.
So there's I didn't actually click on that.
I
link,
did, and it was a long list.
So
but there are some of
tokens
them
that have never been made that which would be really cool to have around as well.
I don't want to give him credit for who did that.
Hipportes.
Was that who it was?
Maybe.
Oh, that might be right. We can take
it. Wasn't an email though.
Wasn't it?
It was Twitter.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Shoot.
Sure.
I don't even have Twitter up right now.
We're good at this.
Son of a bitch.
So there are a bunch of them. That could probably be its own segment because that's like tokens.
Yeah.
For certain. This is more like reminders and digi tokens.
Oh yeah. So that's more of like that's right. That's just more of the tokens that they haven't done it. Yeah, exactly. So then we have can't play on other people's turns. This one I would think is when you cast this, like Dosen or City of Solitude or Grand Abolisher or Conqueror's Flail.
Yeah.
You just hand those out to everybody.
Yeah,
and they each have
Dragon Lord, and they just
you don't need you need to have one for each player because people can play.
And again, I think if you don't have all enough, you can always just put
it in the middle.
The middle, just as like a bigger reminder.
Then we talked about the drawing the extra card. I think what I want to do with that is use old school Howling Mine as the whole background of that one.
For just drawing another card.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty iconic when it comes to that kind of
that's
thing.
what I kind of want to use for the design.
That makes sense. I think Nekasar could definitely get its own.
Yeah. And that's the thing I want to do is it's going to be a lot of work, but each specific thing that has potential to use a card like this, they'll get their special card for it.
Yeah.
This is going to be our thing.
It's gonna be, but it will be a thing we do.
Ideas of
we as in you.
No, because you're helping me. You're actually sending me. You've been sending me a lot of list stuff and all that, and then you're like, "Hey, don't forget this one. Don't forget this one."
So, like with Font of Mythos, which is everybody draws 2 extra cards during their upkeep. You could have like 2 Howling Mines there until Font of Mythos gets made. Or that one's not as popular. I don't think.
Yeah, and that's what we'll probably start with is try to figure out which ones are really popular to work our way down. This might take a while.
This list is probably 10, 15 deep.
Yeah,
so,
and then the other thing with it too is I'm just going back to it with if you're the patron and all that stuff. All these will always be available. This isn't the Proxy of the Week stuff. So when we start making these, not what we're talking about right now, but when you see it on the Proxy of the Week, those will always...
Then they always happen.
Yeah. So and those, when I make them, it will just be with the Proxy of the Week because those won't be a separate thing. I don't know. We're going to call it Digi tokens. So look for the Digi token.
Digi tokens.
Then it'll just probably hashtag Digi tokens at some point. DIGI. Is that how you want to spell it? Digi tokens?
Yeah, might as well. Another one is all of the Praetors basically need a reminder text a little bit. Not all of them, but like Vorinclex. When you tap those lands, they need to stay untapped or stay tapped
to return.
And so you can give them a token to help decide which ones are which.
That would be difficult. I guess you just have one token that sits over the top of it and can't untap that turn, and then
and so it's just like that reminder.
I like that. That's gonna
you could pass around the Sheoldred one where they know to like sacrifice a creature at the beginning of.
That's the same thing. There's a bunch of the creature cards that do that, but there might be just a a general one. But that one will have its own.
Yeah,
but
with a
general,
legend, I think that would be more important. Like they can be.
That's their commander.
Yeah, and Shieldred's play like the Praetors are played a ton.
Mm-hmm.
So Ur-Brask, their creatures come into play tapped. You have like you're going to be discarding all of your cards with like Jin Gataxias.
Yeah. So So,
and then you probably don't need one for Elish Norn, since that's just maybe the -2/-2 for all of. I mean, you would, because when I played that years ago at this point, you played like Solemn Simulacrum. Right,
I think it does need it,
and then it
it's
sat
a
for a
constant
turn,
thing.
and then I'm like, oh, that's dead. You're like, yeah, instantly died.
I think that actually does need a token because it's totally brain fart when you get later on in the game.
Yeah,
you know,
if it's just sitting around.
Yeah, if you have a thing sitting on your board saying all your creatures have -2/-2. That's a little bit more of a reminder.
Almost, again, a slight emblem.
So one thing we're having, and not issue, just trying to work this out, is the storm counter kind of idea. So like storm, and then also put on the same line Aetherflux Reservoir.
Yeah, which is essentially a storm card just for gaining life.
So the only way I can really, well, actually, the Proxy guy it has an interesting one. You should check his out, but it's like a token that has.
Well, it's the card,
and then at the
all
bottom,
it does is it states
each spell it goes up this.
1 gains you 1 life, 2 spells gains you a total of 3 life, 3rd spell gains you 6 total life.
So
and
even with that, you still need a counter,
Yeah,
so that's what we need to kind of make it
would help to have that, so you don't have to do math in the middle of the game. Like that's. And then you don't have to tick up every time. I gain 1, I gain 2, I gain 3 more, I gain 4 more. It's just okay. I cast 4 spells this turn. I get to gain this much life.
So, but then we got to have a counter of how many spells you pay, or how many. So we'd have to have a spell counter. Basically, that's what we'll do is a spell counter. How many spells you've cast that turn. So you can, but you could have a handful, like 10 cards in your hand. Sure. Although most likely you don't have that many cards in your hand. It's 7. So you're like, all right, cast 1 spell. 2 spell, but storm works a little differently.
Maybe the easier way to do it is just have like a token that says like storm on the top of it, and then you basically put a dice on it, and then you're flipping the dice for each one that you play. And then
why not just flip a dice instead of even having a card?
I think it would help designate what you're counting up with. Because I mean, one thing that I actually forgot to put here is like if you're making a ton of mana, I don't know how to efficiently make that token, but like with Ramos, where you make 2 of each, and then you start using it, and you're like, okay, what did I use? What do I have left? And like that's hard to remember.
Yeah. That's a little tough because then you start to add cards in to keep track of that.
As you're playing,
that might be a little more difficult.
It's like, oh, did I draw cards? So I need to specifically know what I'm using. Ramos is a difficult beast right there. Or if you're just ramping like crazy with Nikia and just going, okay, I have 10 red, 14 green, and I need to use these appropriately. So like some of that stuff, I think that one's going to be much more complicated than than the storm counter. The storm counter. I think if somebody has a good idea out there for that,
let us know what you think, because that would be the only way. My thought is just to have a card representing how many times you've done it. Either how you were saying, have one card sitting there and then using a dice, but then it's like, why not just use a dice to do it and not even have a card representing that? Then it's
because token look cool. Look cool.
Well, I guess my thought with tokens is that it's something that's staying for a while, and not you're just. All right, I'm casting spells. I'm going to put this card out and then start, putting a counter on it. Then instead just use a dice.
If you watch, like, any videos on Magic Online or Arena, they do it for you. And so there is a representation of a storm count when you have storm cards or of open mana, like, floating. But right now, like... But there isn't a physical thing that would help you keep that in check or in place.
The part where I see it difficult is because it adds more time to an already long game. Sure. Because then you're actually going out. What we're trying to do with the tokens, the reminder tokens, is almost to save time, because it's people aren't going, oh shit, I wasn't able to cast that 2 turns ago. Let's backtrack. So whatever. It's kind of getting rid of the errors. This almost seems like we're adding too much of a
I think
step.
you're adding a step,
Yeah.
but I think like the land one probably isn't as important as long as you're efficient.
Because normally when it's the end of the game and you're trying to figure out if you're actually winning the game. You know what I'm saying? When you have like 15, you're like, all right, I'm going to cast this, and then that's going to lead into this.
Off the top, do this off the top. I'm getting a ton of advantage. Yeah. So,
but
the storm,
I could see. I just don't know how to do it. So I do want some suggestions. I do want to hear if anybody has any ideas on that. Because what do you think the best idea would be?
The one I just said.
With the dice?
Yeah, just have a storm.
A card that represents that you're going to be doing storm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not creative enough to come up with.
I do like the Aetherflux.
Yeah, the Proxy guy
made a good one. And I'm like, I don't want to design it because he did it already. So I don't think I'll do that one. But
I was about to be really mean.
Well, I wouldn't be as good. I know.
No. I was gonna say, everybody go ask a Proxy guy if you can buy that.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Follow him on Twitter because I do like to see
once a day where he's like, I do not sell. It is illegal.
And he posts the tweet of that person that did it and like kind of is fat shaming him in a way. Like it's just like
it's kind of enjoyable.
It is. It's like God, he is so pissed.
He's so tortured over this. It feels like it.
Yeah.
I could be very wrong. Let's not tag.
Yeah, don't do that, and don't. And if you do it, don't tag us with the CommanderSmiths told us to do this. That would be really douchey. Because I will not be your friend.
We are telling you not to do this.
So now they're going to do it.
Fuck.
All right, so let's keep moving on. We have the did you discard, like oppression,
painful quandary.
Yeah.
So like you don't have to sit there and be like, did you discard a card when you cast that spell? Mm-hmm. It just they have that reminder, and everybody has that reminder with oppression. So
that would be one that I think either would be at the middle of the table or everybody gets one because it's not necessarily a passing one.
Yeah, it's just whenever somebody casts a spell, kind of similar to Rhystic Study, where it's just like whenever you play a spell, you got to pay one. You got to discard a card.
Now we have what Aura of Silence reminder. Which one is that?
So Aura of Silence is the 2 white, 1 colorless enchantment. Your opponent's artifacts and enchantments cost 2 more to play.
Okay, so it's
like just a always ever present reminder.
It's like the Grand Abolisher one token.
Yeah,
that I made.
It'd be similar.
But we'd have a specific one for that. Muster counter. Oh, that's the nice.
Assemble the Legion. You put a muster counter. Muster counter.
That's perfect for that. That one might be one I make.
But that's so easy where you just like doing like a dice for how many tokens. You're
but you just have the card sitting there.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you put it on your.
But you're putting
it on the enchantment.
Like
you guess you don't really need that.
Those brick counters where you like punch them out and you have like one brick. That stupid shit. If you could do something like that with the muster counter, it's just like put multiple muster counters on that. This one was a joke one. I think this one's
that one you just use a
like,
dice and you don't need to have because you just put it. It's an enchantment that sits there, so that's your reminder there.
Yeah.
But I like that you put it in there.
It's like they don't have a muster counter.
Copy creature token. I do like that. That one would have to be. But they do kind of have that.
They actually just kind of came out with that in the. I think it's the Dimir Guild kit. Mm-hmm. They did. It's just like star XX copy creature. So they just they did that. X months ago, but I didn't see it until like this week. Actually.
But that leads into the later tokens, like actual creature token cards that they haven't made yet. So that wasn't made. Okay. No, I'm just saying
it was on that list.
No. That's one of the things that we were talking about. Eventually, we'll start getting into those, the creature token stuff.
And the other thing that what I normally do is I have a clean foil with nothing on it. And then, so like for Kiki Jiki, if it's copying whatever creature, I put that clear foil in front of the card that is copying, and then that represents like a mirror image of what's going on. See how I got deep there a little bit, but that helps me remember what it's copying. Yeah, and it's blank.
Those are a little tough.
It looks really cool.
Those are a little tough to do for the design. I guess you just
that'd be really tough.
You could almost do like the changelings as the image for each color and kind of use that.
Because it can be anything within that.
So that's maybe what I would do, and that might be something to do. Might be a 5 set of it, 5 colors of changelings,
kind of
and then
idea,
you can have each one or whatever. I do like the Memnarch one that you have on here for when when something gets changed into an artifact.
Yeah, sometimes you can turn. So with Memnarch, you can pay 2 blue and a colorless to give or make a creature or any permanent an artifact.
Mm-hmm.
You might not have that other 4 mana to steal whatever artifact.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you have some type of indication, like that is still an artifact, that's always going to be an artifact until it leaves the battlefield.
And then the other Mycosynth Lattice, which I don't know if we necessarily need that, because then everything, I guess it's a reminder telling everybody, but
yeah,
Mycosynth kind of just does, like, it doesn't really affect the board.
It's going to affect everything.
Well, the fucking price just went up fucking crazy.
I think it's
a lot of F's there.
So it's sitting. But yeah, I agree. Again, some of these are stretches.
No, it's that's what we're talking it through. Like some of them I'll jump on quicker than others. Like Void Winnower here, I like this one, even though I don't play with this one as much. I just want to make it. You can't even, the whole saying with that.
You can't even,
and then you just give it to everybody.
Doesn't let your opponents even.
Yeah, or anything even related.
Yeah,
So
can't block with even creatures, can't play even spells.
And it might be just a huge long reminder text underneath it.
You can't even.
But yeah,
your
that
bank account.
But yeah. And then reminder for a curse on a person. That's probably
pretty similar to kill them token. Like
yeah.
It's just like I've played curses where somebody's like, I'm going to randomly attack you.
And you're
like, son of a bitch, he's cursed.
They always forget.
Get them. So just like a nice reminder. Like,
how would we do that
sucks,
then?
That sucks to be like, if you attack them, they got a curse.
Oh, you know what? I'll make it an arrow. It's just so
with just the word cursed on it.
Yeah.
Cursed.
So it's pointing that way, and you give it to each person so they know that person's cursed, and you have it so the arrow's always pointing at the person.
That'd be great.
Because then they come around into their turn, and they're like, "Oh, why is this? Oh, this arrow. Oh, I'm supposed to attack you.
I'm supposed to attack you."
That's what I'll do for this one.
You could also put kill them on there.
Yeah,
with
that
the arrow.
would work too.
Arrow, kill them.
Kill them in big letters, and then underneath or curse, or in parentheses or cursed. Which also kill them. All right, I like this. So what else you got? Anything else on there? Then you said the ones we already have. So we have Mogus, Grand Arbiter, Smothering Tithe, and Rhystic Study. So these will be ones now that I'm freaking moved. Now I can start designing stuff again.
Yeah.
I did finished off my Ilhrog one. Which did you notice that one? You never watched Princess Mononoke, right? Did I say it?
I've seen it.
So you noticed my
yeah.
Ilhrog was Princess Mononoke?
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah. I like it.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, I've watched that movie so many times.
I've at least seen it once.
A couple times under the influence of marijuana.
I generally don't.
That was
I'm
back in my high
talk
school.
about illegal things on this podcast. We are
clean. That's why we don't swear or nut in our throat.
I don't nut in my throat, so I don't know what you're doing.
If you guys have suggestions for other tokens, not the creature tokens. Right now, we're kind of looking for more of the Digi tokens, the reminder tokens. Because I'd like to hear. What are you laughing about now?
Now, I was just like, so me and my wife just watched a movie called Wine Country with like Tina Fey and Amy Poehler in it, and they're tasting wine in front of like one of the wine people, and they're like, "What do you smell? What do you taste in there? What do you smell?" No wrong answers. And one of the characters is like, "Is it canned peaches?" No.
No wrong answers.
And so I was going to say, no wrong answers or like questions like, "Hey, could you do this?" Like,
no.
And then I was like, "No, that's bad."
That's wrong. That's pretty funny.
It was a cute movie. It was funny.
But yeah, so if you have any suggestions or anything like that, things that we didn't think of, I think we even had a couple more. Or
there were definitely some that could have went more. When I was compiling like this list,
general list,
it was more of a reminder to remind other people of the cards you have. Mm-hmm. And so there are definitely cards where like you'll forget that you have them, like Phyrexian Arena. Like that one, every once in a while, you're like, "Fuck, I forgot to draw cards." Like that does happen. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's a huge different can of worms that could be helpful.
And as we mentioned a few weeks ago when we kind of debuted this or talked about it, just didn't go in depth with it, we don't want tokens for reminding people about Ghostly Prison, because that's kind of the technique with Ghostly Prison is you don't say anything about it until they're already all tapped out on their main phase, and then they can't attack you, because that happens more times than it should. Yeah, it happens so much that people are just like, all right, now that I'm done playing all my creatures with haste and blah, blah, blah. Why do our friends have southern accents? I don't know.
Because they don't.
But then they're like, all right, I'm going after you. And then it's like, well, fuck you. You can't, because you don't have any money. You can't pay too. Yeah. So we won't make tokens like that. You want tokens that are, it's more, think of it this way, that you're making the game go faster. You're reminding people.
And then you don't have to like be annoying and be like, did you pay one? Did you play two?
Yeah. So then it kind of takes it off of you.
You can't even. Yeah. You can't, you got to pay 2 more for that enchantment. You don't have to be as vigilant, and it's like, oh yeah, I can't, or I have to do this.
You're still going to get people that are oblivious, even though they have this card sitting
there's a lot of
right there, and they're like, they could have it in their hand, and it's just saying, you can't even, and they're like,
oh, I would be one of those.
Yeah, you did kill yourself.
I've killed myself a couple times. Yeah. And so, like, the Obnixilis Unshackled.
Yeah,
I would not have a reminder card for that to remind people to not or like search,
because they'll do it and then they lose the life. And
yeah, I mean, if you want to be that cutthroat, or like you don't turn back the clock if everybody forgets about it, and then like 2 turns later you're like, oh, you fucking search, lose your life. Mm-hmm. And so like you don't really want that kind of reminder, but something to make the game more efficient and cleaner, so you're not always having to be a pain in the ass.
So either shoot us an email, or you can even tweet at us, whatever way you want to do it, or even YouTube. After you put Dick Sleeve, then you can put that underneath.
And another point that I should make, this goes along with like, so one thing that I do with tokens, if I'm making a ton of like 1/1 tokens or 5/5 tokens from some creature that makes them, I don't want to have a bajillion tokens out.
No.
And because it makes you look huge and threatening, and so if you put like a dice representing how many you have, but it's the similar thing with this. If you're the one always talking and pointing out things and making it seem like you're the annoying one, you become the target. More of a threat. Like,
and it's not necessarily,
let's get rid of this. Or
it's more of like not even a passive target. It's just like you're drawing attention to you. Yeah. So like when somebody's like, okay, who am I going to attack? If it's just they can attack anybody on the table. Well, Lowry's been talking and pointing out. I remember the whole
he's playing, so I'm going to make sure that I go.
Lowry, I'm coming at you. Yeah, I can totally see that. Like, and so subconsciously, that's going to make them attack you.
You not be the focal point of a game when really you're not. Like, some of these cards are cool and really good, but at the same time, like, you don't want them to draw attention to you. So you not talking as much should help you in that regard as well.
I know this is going to be way off randomly topic, but you guys are getting, the patrons that did donate, by the way, are getting their stuff now, because I finally got the cards to Lowry this week, and so now Lowry's going to send them out. So
they will be in the mail before you're listening to this. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the last segment, because I got to get home and drive another hour, and I drove so much today. I get to see how it's like to be Lowry, except a little further.
I get home at like 2 in the morning.
I know, but I got to watch Game of Thrones tonight before Cindy goes to sleep. I'm like, oh shit.
Don't feel bad.
Yeah. You wanted to talk to me about it. You're like, why didn't you watch it before you came? I'm like, well, we're going to...
Before you nut in your beer.
Yeah, before nut in my throat.
Before you came.
All right, let's move on to...
Specs.
Smith Specs of the week, guys. Smith Specs of the week. All right, so my first one, and it kind of a running theme with all of mine here, actually. A few weeks ago when I did... Which I will get Tulsamere Commander Spotlight in a couple weeks here. Just got really busy with the house stuff. But I started building.
How often he just uses this as an excuse? I'll be really happy once.
It's my birthday month. It's my birthday month. Next Next Monday's my birthday. Week from today. If you guys want to get me War of the Spark packs, you can send that to my. All right, so. What kind of triggered this was Garuk when we which one is that? That's the transform, and it was so much cheaper than any other version. And so I was like, well, I kind of want to look at all the other from the vaults and figure out which ones are like the price is different. There was a problem with from the vaults. Some of them have curve to them, right? Pretty big curve.
And that's where like you ordered the Garruk Relentless. I think it's just Relentless. And you're like, oh, these will be pretty solid cards. They're cheap. And I was like, man, from the vault just curves super hardcore. He's like, they're flat for me. And I was like, well, I'll give it a shot. So I picked up 4, and they were flat for me too.
They're like solid cards.
They're impressive.
Yeah. So it might be because of the foiling process with the front and the front and back that it makes it so it isn't curving. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So my first one I'm starting with is Nissa the Vastwood Seer. I actually have this one I bought because I needed it for a deck. The foils from the vault are sitting around $9. Looks like a little bit of an increase right now, but it's almost the same price as your non-foils. And then your other foils are 14 plus for this. And this is just a good card in general. So, I mean, I think this needs to go on a lot.
And we don't have a huge sample size of the FTV from the vault transform, but I have 4, you have at least 4. And the Garruks are all flat.
Yeah, and this is flat.
Is, you have one of these as well?
Yep, this one I have is flat. Yeah.
So you do have a Nissa that's flat. Sorry.
Oh, Nissa. It's...
it'd be weird if we had like a busty Nissa now. Elves just aren't busty. Yeah, that's all right.
They got to be...
athletic.
Yeah.
Live forever.
They can't have their boobs get in the way when they're being sneaky.
I mean, yeah. You can't.
The last thing with this too is there really isn't a lot of inventory, so I really checked. I really checked. I didn't. I didn't.
All the other times I fake checked.
Really I meant to say I just checked right before the cast, and there really isn't that much of a inventory there. So this is pretty low inventory. It's a good card. It's something you might want to pick up. This isn't necessarily saying it's going to spike or jump in the next 3 months or whatever, but long term you could see this reaching 20 with the other ones. The other ones are going to keep creeping up as well because it's just in general there isn't a lot of flip commander or planeswalkers out there. All right, Larry, your first one.
How much time do we have?
We are over an hour, just over an hour.
I'll go normal. I won't go into this one. So I was looking at Whisper Silk Cloak here. I think it's a pretty popular EDH card. And there are a couple of different foil printings of it, but the Magic 2010 version is sitting around $350. You have like 10th edition, which is sitting at $7. You have the original, like all of them are like 5-ish plus. And I still feel like the foil version is maybe underpriced. But the $350 is definitely underpriced.
Yeah, definitely.
I think you can easily goes to $5. If not more in the long run.
I'll give you a caveat to this is that I don't even know if I'm using that word right there.
I'll just let it run. Don't worry about
it. But I actually used this card quite a bit that I had to, with my recent deck, I didn't buy foil. I should have bought foil because I didn't talk to you yet.
You should have. But
I bought like 5 of them, just to fill the $2 whatever cart. I bought 5 of them just because I ran out of mine because they were in too many decks, and I don't make proxies of them because it's not over $5. So it's like
cheap card.
Bought a bunch of it. So this gets used, like you said, in a ton of EDH decks because not only does it give your guy Shroud, but it's unblockable. And there's a lot of creatures that you want to be unblocked.
Yeah, and right now the non-foils are sitting, a lot of them are right around $1 anyway.
Did I use caveat right?
Of course. Of course you did.
Okay, sorry, keep going.
But the ones are sitting around $1, and so like $350 isn't too much of a stretch for a pretty highly played card. And obviously, like there are multiple non-foil printings because they've done it in commander sets, dual decks, plane chase, and so they're 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, there's a lot
4,
of non-foil.
5, 6.
I wouldn't
7, 8
go after
version,
non-foils on those.
Not non-foils, but the non-foils sitting at $1 is kind of impressive, and so I feel like the foils are kind of underpriced at that $350.
Damn, I wish I would have talked to you before I bought mine because I probably would have just spent the money on that. All right, my next one, we're going to continue with From the Vault. I'm going with Archangel Avacyn. I actually don't own this one, and I do want to pick it up because it's only at $6 right now. When you compare it to the other foil printings of it, they're at 16 plus. The non-foil version of it is $5, so $1 more, and you get a foil version of this.
Yeah, and again, not a huge sample size, but it seems like the Transform FTV are pretty flat.
Mm-hmm.
So
all right,
and that's the biggest detractor from the Vault is that they curve like a boomerang.
So I have a JIT non-foil and a JIT from the Vault, and that one didn't have curve issues, but you had curve issues with.
I have
one of my next ones my next from the Vault one is
from the Vault lore, which is what the JIT is from as well, but. I have them in a box still, and I can see them curving in the box.
I want to go in the box.
Yeah.
Go to your first base. There was a Bach.
Bach.
That's baseball terms right there.
Oh, yeah. That's true. Well, I was thinking of the classical musician.
Bach. Oh, not Beck?
Not Beck, no.
Stupid. All right, go on to the next one.
This is when people go, well, I'm going to turn them off.
Oh, at least we didn't end with a nut. That first 10 minutes. I can't wait to listen to that again.
Okay, so my next one is going to be Sarkham's Triumph. This is an instant from the Khans of Tarkir. And the foil, what it does is it searches for any dragon in your deck and put it in your hand. Instant speed, tutor for a dragon, which is a very popular tribe. Mm-hmm. And a very powerful tribe. Like, this goes in every Kalia deck that's running dragons.
And you know they're always going to keep...
Or Ur-Dragon, or Scion of the Ur-Dragon.
They're going to keep making dragons, and so this will always... I mean, they've only printed it the one time, and...
The non-foils, I think, could get a reprint in a type of...
Oh, for sure, in a commander set
like
type
in
of thing.
Like a commander set that has Dragon Heavy, or in some type of...
Although they probably won't do a dragon set for a while because they did it 2 years ago or whatever. But
yeah, but again, I can easily see that it
before
being printed in non-foil. But the foil sitting at $250 right now, I can see that part going much more up, like doubling easily.
It looks like over the past year there's a lot of...
movement.
Yeah, there's a lot of jumps, and then it comes back down, and then it jumps. So that means it's being bought by, bought out pretty much.
People.
That's a good point, Larry. By people. All right, my last one is High Market from the Vault. This is the one that you said you actually have some curve
I have two
to.
of these, and they curve pretty hardcore.
So the foils of these of course, From the Vault is foil, around $6, but your non-foils are right around that same price. And you can't really compare the other foil printing because it's so old, but that's at $70. That doesn't really give you an indication there. But if you were to choose right now, if you didn't own them, a foil or a non-foil, knowing that this has
this is
has
how
a curve,
Adam got me before. It's like, these curve really bad. But at $1 more than non-foil, I'd probably pick these up.
Yeah. So I have, just because of the commander set it was in, right? Yeah, I was in commander. So I have it, but now I'm like, I kind of want to just have the foil to sit in my binder. And I feel like the binder, I don't see them curve at all. So that's why I kind of wanted to pull some of these out. I put them in a perfect fit, and then I put them in the binder. And
that probably helps a ton.
And I don't see a curve very often. So, but yeah, I picked these up. I don't know what the inventory was on this. I just think that this is a card that you should have in a lot of decks. And it's Larry says that he always likes to have some sort of sack outlet, at least one in every deck that he has.
I do like that, yes.
And this is not only giving you land. The reason why it goes up, why it's one of the most expensive things, is because if you can have two uses out of it, where it's producing mana to get your things out, and then also has a second use. That's why they're so fucking good. Like,
it costs you nothing to have this in your deck.
Mm-hmm.
It just
takes the spot of your basic land that you were going to have in there.
Yeah.
So it's not deciding between, oh man, I got to cut this card or this, a creature or instant or whatever. It's all right. I just cut this mountain out of here. That's. Mm-hmm. So definitely get this in your collection. It should be almost a core card for Commander if it wasn't when we did land. I don't remember.
We didn't too many. Utility lines.
All right, the last one, Lowry.
So specifically, I'm going to talk about Will Kenrith. So that was the Battle Bond blue planeswalker that what is it called?
Oh, the
bonds or whatever. Partners. Yeah, partners with Rowan Kenrith. So what I would say is that the promo foils so the Will Kenrith version of the promo foil is sitting around $20 right now. The pack foil is sitting around like 40.
Yeah, I was gonna say Goldfish doesn't even have a price up for it.
Yeah, and Card Kingdom I was seeing has it for 40, which might be a little inflated, so it's a little hard to compare between the two. But the Rowan Kenrith is sitting around like $12 versus 25 on Card Kingdom for that foil, and so I feel like and it actually is different art.
Yeah, I like the art better in that one than the original art.
And so they're decently close between like the foil and non-foil with the promos versus it seems like when I was going through the list, a lot of the foils on the Battle Bond for like the original cards there are really expensive. Mm-hmm. So you're talking most of them over $20. So or 15 easy.
I like this one a lot.
And so this one I feel like both of them, Will and Rowan Kenrith, would be decent buys and picks up.
How much is she?
She's like $12.50, but
so she's much cheaper.
Yeah, non-foils. Rowan, the red one, is going for like $2.50, to whereas the non-foil of Will Kenrith, the blue one, is going for about $8.
Okay. I might have to get these. I have them in non-foil, but I think I might want to pick up the foils, especially. And it has alt art with the other one too, right?
No.
So the
pack foil is normal, but the promo foil has a bit of a different tweak to it there.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
The other one, meaning the red one, the girl.
Yeah, that has alt art. Yep.
Okay, cool, sweet. I dig it because I might pick this up with the money I finally got back from.
Thank you for giving our money back, Wizards.
Just holding it ransom for fucking 5-10 days. Ugh.
Yeah.
All right, we should wrap this up because I got to go watch Game of Thrones, bitches. All right, so you
really unkind. You are not bitches.
You guys can follow us on Twitter
at CommanderSmiths,
and you can Gmail us with your ideas and all that other fun stuff
at CommanderSmiths.
You can go to YouTube and put dick sleeves after this video. And get your name into a drawing for a proxy card.
As a CommanderSmiths.
Yeah, and then, did I ever say Twitter? No, Patreon. Go there, and that's where you can, if you're level 2 or higher, you can get from the proxy of the week or from our DiGi tokens at the end of each month. So
yeah, sounds good.
And the patrons that have donated, we really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
It's crazy. We went a whole year without,
I'm going to brag about this one right now. We had one of our newer patrons, Nathaniel. He sent us beer up from Louisiana.
Oh, I can't wait to drink that.
So that'll be next week's deal.
If you want to do that too.
If you want to give us
you want to send us beer,
cool.
That'd be awesome too.
I'm super psyched for this.
Yeah, we got next week drinking that. But yeah, so it's been awesome. I don't know. I like getting the emails every day or the tweets and all that stuff from people.
So random, you can turn this off at this point, but like I've seen like people on Twitter, again, this Twitter thing is kind of new for me, but content
but
creators,
now that's all you want, like you get on there, you're like, all right, I saw that tweet.
Content creators oftentimes talk about all the negative stuff that they see from people and like people commenting. Like we have one over like the 65 episodes that
that was like in the beginning, wasn't it?
Yeah, Joyra at
whatever. It was just like, this seems bad. I don't like this
and
card.
Somebody's like, this is a combo commander. You guys are idiots. Like downvote.
Yeah, he did downvote.
That's the only negative thing we've ever had. Everything else is
now you're saying this, and now we're just gonna get negative.
No. Everybody's been really awesome, and
you know what that means?
Been really cool. So
we're not quite big enough yet, where we haven't got the douchebags yet.
The first troll we get is going to be, I'll take a picture, probably hang it on my mantle.
It's going to go over the top of your War of the Spark 11x11 foil sheet.
I can hang it up in my kid's room, just say, Daddy's first troll.
I'll design a little troll card for you, too. A little token. All right, that'll do it for this week. We will catch you guys next week.
All right, thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.